pairs, and then they make friends with those pairs and go to those friends. Masturbation was my own access into Cypher's life. Mediums like distrust gained access into the mind, and the best part. So if the parents can train the children well, the media will do so. Something as simple as deleting Whitehouse, they couldn't back up their own relationship. Back up their relationship and power. Those substances have negative effects on your male libido, ejaculation, and pornography was amazed with this question. It's me, of course, pornography said. You see, I got talking with Cypher and I told him that, listen, everyone is doing this. I mean, you're not hurting anyone, it's just between you and I. And Cypher saw nothing wrong with that. So me and Cypher, we began to work together. But he didn't realize that would be the beginning of his end. A nightmare in a broad daylight. And everyone bursted into laughter. But procrastination was a little bit silent. And then he rose up and spoke. He said, now I understand why when Clover had just met Cypher during that dinner, when she just touched Cypher, his body began to shiver like someone who had fever. I mean, he couldn't even hold himself any longer. But he didn't even last long, fornication quickly added. But that's not all, pornography continued. You see, even though he wants to use substance like manpower, those substances have negative effect on your male libido, ejaculation, erection, and can even cause you infertility. And the best part is that the excessive watch of pornography reduces your prefrontal cortex, making you lose concentration easily. What a barbaric religion you are, the master said. Then pornography continued. Just doing my job, he said, with a smirk. And I also included my assistant in the cost of my ministry with Cypher. Assistant? They all said in laughter. But while everyone laughed, masturbation, his face was still. But I can now fathom why Cypher was calling me to come so that he can say come to come, and that's how I was welcomed. You see, always pornography will surely pave a way for masturbation to come in. So for the things Cypher once craved, Cypher himself became my slave. But I never walk alone, masturbation said. All those who are stuck in this habit of sexual lust, there's always a connection with sexual lust and lack of self-control. And for Cypher, that's how anger came in. But that's true, anger said. You see, masturbation was my own access into Cypher's life. All I needed to do was to act when I'm angry. But how can you act when you're angry, since you are anger? Pornography said, whispering. Let me speak, anger retorted. I wonder if Reid was here, what would he have done? Fornication whispered again. Anger, who was about to throw a punch, was stopped by the master. The master said, don't turn my courtroom into a circus. Lower your voice right now, and I am the boss, and I don't want any noise. Now proceed, anger. Anger sat down and continued. You see, in Cypher's life, I was his major controller altogether, a major shareholder. And when Cypher wanted to keep calm, I was his own amplifier. So imagine if Cypher became an avatar, he shall be called the first anger bender. But who do you work with? The master asked anger. Well, I work with impatient, intolerant, and a couple of others, he said. You see, research has it that excessive anger can also cause eating disorder, sleeping disorder, anxiety, depression, and can even cause you a low lifespan. But let me stop here and allow my own colleagues to continue. So basically, I work with Clover, the girlfriend, as her PA. Now, not personal assistant, but personal accountant, Grudge said. You see, we helped her in balancing the ledger, the bookkeeping, and also the gross domestic offense, the net income offense, and also the offense quadrant for every single thing that Cypher did. But what Clover didn't realize was that the more she kept grudge, the more grudge grew into malice, and then malice into unforgiveness, and then unforgiveness into bitterness. And guess what happened next? She began to disrespect Cypher. And any single thing he does will make her vex. Something as simple as delaying to reply her text will make her believe that Cypher is out there having sex, and you will know what happened next. The reason why all these things happened to them is because they couldn't back up their own relationship. Back up their relationship, everyone was puzzled. Hands running through their chin, eyes gazing at him, face fixed in his direction. But how can a relationship be backed up? Alright, listen, God continued. You see, the first thing that you should do is first center the relationship on God's love that does not evolve, and that will solve half of the problem. Then you evolve a minister, a pastor, parents who oversee the relationship. And believe me, with that, a relationship has 99% of success. The master was impressed with this outstanding teamwork. He then rose with his cup in his hand. Toast to Cypher and Clover break up.